What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Game Day with Trey. Of course, this is your host, Trey, and today we're going to talk about this NFL Sunday morning matchup between the Carolina Panthers and the New York Giants. All right, so this game will be played at 9:30 a.m. East Coast time. It will be kicked off in Munich, Germany. All right, and the line right now is Carolina's getting 6.5, and the over/under is at 40.5. There has been slight movement in the line. The line has ticked in the Giants' favor, I guess, because it was Carolina plus 5.5. Now it is the Carolina plus 6.5, and the over/under has ticked down from 41.5 down to 40.5. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a quick look at this matchup, man. The Giants posted a 1-3 run over their first 4 games with a win over the Browns, among losses to the Vikings, Commanders, and Cowboys. The next 4 games were a 1-3 run as well, and with a win over the Seahawks ahead of losses to the Bengals, Eagles, and Steelers. Last weekend's second matchup versus the Commanders, New York was down 21-7 by halftime. The Giants came back in the fourth quarter, but still fell short 27-22. Daniel Jones finished with 174 yards, 2 touchdowns, while Tyrone Tracy added 66 yards on 16 carries. And while over in Carolina Panthers side, they went 1-3 over their first 4 games as well. Carolina beat the Raiders, among losses to the Saints, Chargers, and Bengals. 4 more losses to the Bears, Falcons, Commanders, and Broncos followed. Matched up against the Saints on Sunday, the Panthers trailed by 3 points going into the second half. Carolina scored another 13 from there on and came back with a 23-22 win. Bryce Young managed 171 passing yards with a touchdown and an interception, and Chuba Hubbard, he rushed for 72 yards and a pair of scores to lead the ground game, guys. All right, so how are these two teams going to score? What's going on? Because in all actuality, these are 2 of the worst teams in the NFL. At least if you're using your eye test, man. Okay. Right now, the New York Giants average 15.4 points per game. That's the worst offense in the NFL. Okay, and they're going against the worst defense in the NFL, and the Carolina Panthers. They give up 32.6 points a game, guys. All right, Giants, 27th worst yards per play. They get 4.8 versus the Carolina Panthers, the 30th worst. They give up 5.9. As far as third down is concerned, Giants do have a chance there because they're 22nd best there, converting 36.22% of their third downs, whereas Carolina Panthers allow you to convert 48.31% of third downs. That's the worst third down opposing conversion rate in the NFL, as they are with most things when you're talking about Carolina. All right, as far as red zone, though, Giants got to beat there. Giants have the worst red zone offense in the NFL. They only capitalize and score a touchdown 40% of the time. That's 32nd worst in the NFL. But in Carolina, they allow you to score a touchdown 69.23% of the time in the red zone. That is the 28th worst. Carolina also gives up 3.8 offensive touchdowns a game, whereas the Giants, they're really only scoring 1.6 touchdowns a game, guys. That's 31st in the NFL versus the 32nd. So 31st offense in touchdowns versus the 32nd defense in touchdowns. Like, make it make sense. These 2 teams are trash. I feel sorry for Germany, and I'm definitely not getting up early to watch this game. Sorry. Carolina Panthers, as far on offense, they're only scoring 16.3 points per game. That's 29th worst in the NFL. And the Giants are giving up 22.14. So the Giants' defense is actually pretty stout. All right, they give up 5.7 yards per play, and on third down, Giants are third best or ninth best in the NFL, only allowing you to convert on third down 33.33% of the time. Whereas Carolina, they only get 4.9 yards per play, and they only convert 32.38% of the time. That's 26th and 29th worst in the NFL. Red zone, Carolina actually can do that, though. Carolina actually is the 8th best red zone scoring offense in the NFL, guys. They score touchdowns 63.64% of the time if they make it to the red zone. Yeah, but the thing is, the Giants only allow you to score a touchdown 44% of the time. They have the 5th best opposing red zone scoring defense in the NFL. They only give up 2.3 touchdowns a game. That's 11th best, and Carolina only gets 1.9 touchdowns a game. That's 26th, guys. Okay, so will the Giants be able to run the ball? Well, maybe. You know what I mean? Carolina is the worst full game rushing defense in the NFL, giving up 159 yards. And, the Giants are middle of the pack. They get 114.7 yards a game, 4.3 yards a carry. That's 20th in the NFL, going against the 20th worst defense in the NFL, who gives up 4.6 yards a carry. Now let's look in the inverse. Carolina going to be able to run the ball. They should be able to, because Carolina averages 4.4 yards per carry. That's 16th in the NFL. They're going against the worst run defense in the NFL as far as yards per play. They give up 5.2 yards per play. They also give up a total of 142.6 yards a game on the ground. Do the Giants, man. That's the 29th worst running defense in the NFL full game. Even though Carolina, they're the 25th worst offense running the ball full game. They only get 101.3. And then when you look at the Giants, will they be able to pass the ball? Well, they should be able to, because Giants are converting 62.94% completion rate, and Carolina allows you to convert 70% of your passes. So that's the 25th worst offense versus the 28th worst defense, guys, as far as passing completion percentage is concerned. In yards per play, Giants get 6 yards a play on through the air. That's 27th, and they're going against Carolina Panther team, who gives up 8 yards per play through the air. That's the 29th worst defense in the NFL, man. They only get to the quarterback 3.57% of the time. They're literally the second worst defensive line in the NFL when it comes to getting to the quarterback. Thing is, Giants allow you to get to the quarterback 8.21% of the time, so that's 23rd worst. But the Giants get the best defense against the pass as far as sack-wise in the NFL, man. They get to the quarterback 12.28% of the time, but Carolina only allows you to get to the quarterback 5.54% of the time. So that's the number one sack defense versus the number 7 offensive line against the sack. Now, Carolina will not be throwing the ball all over the field. They only get 176.6 yards per game. That's 30th worst. And the Giants only allow 191.6 yards per game through the air. That's the 9th best defense in the NFL, guys. So there's definitely no opportunity there for them to be throwing the ball. I just don't think that that's going to work for them, especially after trading away their wide receiver and doing everything that they've done to be the Carolina Panthers. After all, they are coached by Dave Canales, and he ain't do much down here in Tampa, so I didn't expect him to do much up there neither. Okay. Matter of fact, he was one of the worst first half coaches in the NFL last year, guys. All right, so looking at these two teams, right, in the last 3 games, the Giants are averaging 14.3 points per game, and they give up 27 points per game. Carolina's averaging 14.7 points per game, and they give up 30 points per game. As far as on the road, the Giants are averaging 21.5 points per game and giving up 20.5 points per game, whereas the Carolina Panthers, they're averaging 17.5 points per game and giving up 30 points per game. All right, so obviously we are expecting a lot less scoring in this game, because Carolina games at home, they average 47.5 points total, and the Giants game, they average 42 points respectively, full game. And then when you look in the last 3, once again for Carolina, it comes down to 44.7 points, and when you look over at the Giants, it's around 41. So they're definitely not expecting a lot of offensive fireworks in this game for the line to be looking that low and have moved in that direction. Okay, now that we look at that, let's look at the situationally. Okay, these two teams are coming out here. Both of them are 2-7 straight up on the road. Giants are 2-2, and I would just have to say on the road, the Carolina Panthers are 1-4. All right. Against the spread, Giants are 3-6 against the spread. Carolina's 2-7 against the spread. On the road, Carolina's 1-4 against the spread, and Giants are 3-6. As a favorite, Giants haven't even been a favorite all season long, so you can't even see how they play as a favorite, because they've been underdogs all year long, guys, all year long. Then if you look over-unders, the Giants are 3 to the over, 6 to the under. And Carolina Panthers are 7 to the over, 2 to the under. On the road, Giants are 2 to the over, 2 to the under. And on the road, Carolina's 4 to the over and 1 to the under, guys, so far this season. Now, when you're looking situationally, right? So, oh man. So the Giants have played 2 straight overs against Pittsburgh and Washington in their last 3. They did, however, go under against Philly and Carolina. And then, by the way, they are on 1, 2, 4 game losing streak as far as against the spread and straight up. All right, and their next opponent is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, and then the Dallas Cowboys for Thanksgiving, and then New Orleans. So they definitely can't afford to look ahead at anything because they got a tough little slate ahead of them, man. Then when you look at Carolina in their last 3, they are 1-2 against the spread. Prior to their win last week over the Saints, they were on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game losing streak against the spread and straight up, right? So, and they're also on, in the last 3, they're on 2 overs in a row with 1 under being against Washington 3 games ago, guys. All right, now head to head, the Giants do run this 6-4 straight up, 8-2 against the spread, and 6 to the over, 4 to the under. In the last 10 times they have matched up. Last time they saw each other was September 18th, 2022. The score was 19-16. It went under the 43 points, and the Giants were getting money in that game. Okay, as far as trends, okay, in this game, the New York Giants have hit the second quarter money line in 9 of their last 17 games. Oh yeah, by the way, and just to know who the Giants got coming up ahead, or Carolina, we know who Carolina got coming up ahead, guys. They got Kansas City, Tampa, and Philly, so they're nowhere able to look ahead either, by the way. All right, so back to the trends, right? So Carolina Panthers have hit the first half game total over in 12 of their last 20 games. The New York Giants have hit the game total under in 12 of their last 20 games. Carolina Panthers have hit the third quarter game total under in 13 of their last 18 games, and the New York Giants have scored last in 6 of their last 8 games. Carolina Panthers have hit the fourth quarter game total under in 13 of their last 18 games, and the New York Giants have covered the second quarter spread in 6 of their last 8 away games. The Carolina Panthers also have covered the third quarter spread in 12 of their last 18 games, and the New York Giants have hit the fourth quarter money line in 4 of their last 9 away games, guys. All right, so 7 of the Panthers' last 8 games in November have gone under the total points line, and each of the Giants' last 4 games against NFC South opponents have all gone under the total points line. Chuba Hubbard has rushed for 95 plus rushing yards, rushing plus receiving yards in 4 of the Panthers' last 5 games as moderate underdogs, being 3.5 points to 7 points. So you definitely want to pay attention to some Chuba Hubbard props, guys. Okay. Yeah, I don't like anything for the Giants. All right, so I'll go with the Giants here, though, as far as who's going to win the game, money line, and hell, I would have even taken minus the 5.5. And I still probably would take them even minus the 6 or 6.5, with money coming in on the Giants, obviously, and moving that line up. Reason being is you could make a case that it could go either way, right? But New York's coming off a tepid 326 total yard game with 162 yards passing against the Commanders. And the Giants managed 25 first downs and a solid 8 of 13 on third down and fourth down tries, but ultimately fell short on the scoreboard after a slow start. As for Carolina, they finished with 246 yards, only 166 in the air, with 4.9 yards per play, 15 first downs in their comeback win over the Saints. Nolans had 10 penalties for 109 yards, certainly didn't hurt. And this weekend's matchup should be pretty even. But in the end, I like the Giants to power out the cover. It'll be a competitive game nonetheless, and I do like it under. I do understand why the line has gone from the 41.5 to the 40.5. All right, so I definitely like the under. And if we're looking at team totals, hell, they got the Panthers at 17.5 points, and the Giants 23.5 or 21.5, maybe. You know, I have to look at it, look a little bit closer. Please pay attention to the pinned comments. I'll go ahead and let y'all know what's going on there. Please like, share, subscribe. Y'all have a blessed day. Stay safe, and I'm going to see y'all at the window. Peace.